This is a thank you video. A thanks to who? Well, I finally, after all these years, made a connection with the framers of the curriculum of my alma mater, the University of the Arts in Alberta, Alberta University of the Arts, formerly known as the Alberta College of Art and Design, formerly known as the Alberta College of Art. Why thank you? Thank you for foundation year. Why is foundation year important? Foundation year was the year that they drug everybody through kicking and screaming before they got to go into what it was that they actually really wanted to do. You had to do stuff. So rather than just get to, you had to do some have to. And it made a difference, and I have a principle that I use in my life as a result of foundation year, and I'll tell it to you. So I got into visual communication, and we got an assignment once, and I don't actually, here, I'll go show it to you. We got an assignment, and it was to create a poster in the spirit of a movement. So, I could show you back in there. So mine was Leonard Cohen was the artist, and the movement, I think it was like Russian constructivist or something like that. So up here in our like Hogwarts Hall, you can see it up there, right? Where is it? Oh yeah, there. Beside the red one. And it's a guitar with a fist in the middle of it, and it says Cohen, and it's woodcut. Okay, that's what got made, and I kind of like spoiled it. Here's another aside. One time, my cousin Matt and his brother Steven were talking about resolution on Tony Hawk Pro Skater and how it was like. Meanwhile, the reason I'm making this video is because I've got a Zoom call that's recording, and I'm like, watching it spool. So I thought, I can make a video while I do that. So Matt and Steven were talking, and I think Steven was saying how realistic and how like skateboarding a video game was, and Matt, in his amazing style, said, it's a lot like skateboarding. So I get the assignment, and within minutes, I'm in Photoshop. Not even a vector-based program, a bitmap, looking for woodcut fonts, and they're all just gliffy garbage, right? And it just doesn't feel right. It feels icky. And I think to myself, I've put the cart before the horse here, and it occurs to me, because of foundation, that there's a print shop downstairs. Thomas Slacks was the instructor. So I'm like, all right. So I just go rogue, go downstairs, buy myself some materials on the credit card. Whatever, man. You just load that credit card up. You're in school. You're spending money. And I go into the studio, and I cut the wood. I cut the poster. My memory of it is that the time between conceiving of the idea and cutting it was very, very short. Cut it, get the thing, print it, come back upstairs with half a dozen prints of my Cohen poster, and my design contemporaries are like, "Whoa, how did you do that?" And I'm like, it's a lot like woodcut? Woodcut. So, thank you to those who push people through foundation, kicking and screaming, and make them do things they don't want to do, because the lifelong lesson that, and this is tempered by another thought, on a continuum between them, but on one side of the continuum, despite the fact that salespeople will suggest to you that features will think and problem solve for you, I don't think so. I can forgive salespeople because it's their job to suggest that the features are going to do things, but I think more often than not what happens is that when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and salespeople try to make it so that the teacher appears despite the readiness of the student. And all you have to do is buy the thing, and it's going to solve problems for you. It doesn't do that. But that knowledge that came from foundation in that case, it proved to be the difference maker. So tools don't think for you. Right. And in the art college in the store, there used to be a shirt that said, "All great ideas start with a sketch," and I would agree with that. On the other end of the continuum, there's this experience. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. And what that feels like is when, after years of doing something in a certain manner, you discover that there was a better way. And you're like, dude, I've been doing this the wrong way. Like when you discover Photoshop actions or something, and you're like, I mean, I could have just batch processed that. I could just set my machine to work, and it can open files, select files, la 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 la, and then run a script and do that. You're like, I don't even know what I'm doing with my life, or whatever it is. So because of the fact that there are efficiencies that can be conferred from tools, it's well for us to strike a balance between tools and ideas, and making sure that the tools don't. This is like when people think that like, so you've got mediocre story, good story, mediocre execution, excellent execution, right? Like you thinking that excellent execution of a mediocre story is going to work. It's like, no, dude, that was bad. That was bad from beginning. Similarly, sometimes you can have like a, well, you know what I'm trying to say. We want to be up here. I'm just like did a George Bush. You fool me once, I ain't gonna get fooled again. I couldn't pull off my thing, but you know what I'm saying. There's like lame story, lame execution, lame story, great execution, great story, crappy execution. Great story, great execution. We aspire to be up here, and so even though I ranted about how tools can corrupt things preemptively, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. So you should be experimenting, and you should be what-ifing, and you should be incubating, so that when the time comes for proficiency, you've got it. Because what up until now has been something that you've been playing, all of a sudden, you've got it on the court when you need it. Game time. And your 10,000 hours of goofing around make the difference. What I'm saying is it ain't goofing around. So that's my rant about tools and ideas. And thank you, Foundation Year. It took me, I don't even know how old I am, but it took me all these years to say thank you. I appreciate it. I've got thoughts about the curriculum in other areas, but in terms of foundation, that was awesome. And I have the woodcut hanging on my wall as a result. Peace out.